Before streaming, before viral hits, before algorithms decided what the world would hear. There were songs powerful enough to stop people in their tracks the moment the needle touched the record. Songs that didn't just top charts. They changed culture, changed fashion, changed conversations, changed the way music itself could sound and feel. A single bass line could spark a movement. One voice could shake an entire generation. And one lyric could become bigger than the artist who sang it. Tonight inside Soul Vault, we're opening the doors to the records that rewrote R&B history forever. From revolutionary anthems to heartbreak classics, to grooves that still fill dance floors decades later. These are the songs that became permanent. And trust us, by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why some records never truly grow old. So dim the lights, turn the volume up, and step inside the Soul Vault.
When you get home, I'm gonna do it for you like it's supposed to.
Number 12, Never Too Much by Luther Vandross. Romance dressed in velvet. A groove smooth enough to float on. And a voice so warm it felt like it already knew you personally. Never Too Much didn't arrive with explosive drama or flashy theatrics. It didn't need them. Luther Vandross walked into the early 1980s with elegance instead of noise.
Part 1, check it out.
And somehow that made the impact even bigger. The bass line moves with confidence. The rhythm guitar glides underneath it. Every instrument leaves room for Luther's voice to breathe. Nothing fights for attention. Everything serves the feeling. That's what made the record revolutionary. At the time, R&B was standing at a crossroads. Disco's dominance was fading, electronic production was rising, and soul music was searching for a new center. Luther answered with sophistication. He brought intimacy back into the spotlight. Then came the vocal. Not forced, not oversung. Controlled emotion. Precision wrapped in tenderness. There's not a minute, hour, day, or night that I don't love you. Even now, the line lands because Luther sings it like a confession instead of a performance. Before becoming a superstar, he had already spent years behind the scenes shaping music for other artists. He understood arrangement. He understood harmony. Most importantly, he understood restraint. Never Too Much proves that sometimes the smoothest records require the most discipline. And once the song hit radio, it spread everywhere. Cookouts, weddings, roller rinks, quiet storm radio, family reunions, late-night drives through glowing city streets. The record became part of everyday life. But underneath all the romance was something deeper. Confidence without arrogance. Luther made love sound mature, comfortable, safe. In a decade increasingly driven by image and excess, he slowed things down just enough to remind listeners that sincerity still mattered. That's why the song never disappeared. It still fills dance floors, still starts conversations, still turns ordinary moments into memories. Because Never Too Much is more than a love song. It's luxury soul at its absolute peak. Number 11. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. A question carried on a whisper. A protest wrapped inside beauty.
You dying, you know we.
A soul record that changed the emotional possibilities of popular music forever. Before What's Going On, Motown had perfected polished hit-making.
We don't need to escalate.
Tight arrangements, clean harmonies, songs designed to cross over into every household in America. Then Marvin Gaye looked outside the studio window. War overseas, violence at home, mothers grieving, communities exhausted. The country felt fractured, and Marvin decided music had to reflect that reality. The opening doesn't explode. It drifts in gently, almost conversationally. Voices overlap. Instruments ease into place.
Tell me what's going on. Ooh.
The atmosphere feels alive before Marvin even begins singing. Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. That line changed soul music forever because it invited vulnerability into mainstream R&B on an entirely different level.
Pick it side.
The brilliance of What's Going On is how calm it sounds while carrying enormous emotional weight. The groove never panics. The percussion rolls softly forward.
Come on, man.
The saxophone sighs between phrases. Even the pain arrives gracefully. Marvin understood something many artists still chase today. People listen longer when truth arrives through melody instead of shouting. Motown executives reportedly feared the song was too political, too risky, too different from the label's formula. Marvin refused to compromise. He fought for the record because he believed soul music could hold deeper conversations. History proved him right. The song opened the door for socially conscious R&B, neo-soul, and countless artists who later used music to speak about injustice, struggle, healing, and hope.
With brutality, talk to me, talk to me.
But beyond politics, What's Going On changed production itself. Layered vocals became emotional texture. Jazz influences blended naturally into soul. The mix felt cinematic and intimate at the same time. Even today, the song sounds alive because human pain hasn't disappeared. Neither has the need for compassion. That's why What's Going On never ages. It doesn't belong to one decade. It belongs to every moment when people stop long enough to ask each other if we're truly okay.
What's going on?
Number 10. Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Funk wired directly into electricity. A groove built like machinery but pulsing with human instinct. And one riff powerful enough to redraw the future of black music. Superstition doesn't slowly introduce itself. It arrives already in motion. That clavinet line cuts through the speakers like sparks jumping from a live wire. Repetitive, sharp, addictive. The rhythm circles itself with almost military precision, while the drums punch holes straight through the center of the beat. Stevie Wonder understood something profound. Repetition can become hypnosis when the groove is strong enough. And this groove was undeniable. By the early 1970s, Stevie had entered a rare level of artistic freedom. He wasn't simply performing songs anymore. He was building entire sonic worlds himself. Writing, producing, arranging, experimenting with synthesizers and textures in ways most mainstream R&B artists had never attempted before. That independence changed the sound of soul music permanently. Before Superstition, many R&B recordings still leaned heavily on traditional orchestration and live band warmth. Stevie introduced something more futuristic without sacrificing emotion. The song felt mechanical and deeply human at the same time. That balance became revolutionary. The lyrics warn against fear, myths, and irrational thinking, but honestly, the real message lives inside the rhythm itself. Confidence, momentum. forward movement. Everything about the record pushes ahead, and musicians everywhere absorb the lesson. Funk bands borrowed the tighter drum patterns. Pop artists chased the energy. Hip-hop producers later sampled its DNA endlessly. Even rock musicians studied the structure because Superstition proved groove could carry as much force as guitar distortion. But perhaps the song's greatest achievement is this. Still sounds modern. Not classic modern. Actually modern. Drop it into a playlist today and nothing about it feels trapped in the past. The groove still snaps listeners awake instantly. Younger audiences still react physically before they even understand why. Because rhythm this strong bypasses logic. Goes straight into the body. That's why Superstition remains immortal. It isn't frozen in history. Keeps moving. Number 9. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. A whisper before the earthquake. A performance so controlled it almost feels supernatural. And a voice capable of turning heartbreak into something enormous enough to fill the entire world. Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You begins with almost nothing. No dramatic entrance. No wall of instruments. Just space. That silence matters because Whitney understood tension better than almost any vocalist of her generation.
But I know.
She knew restraint creates anticipation. The quieter she began, the more devastating the payoff would become later. And when that payoff arrives, it feels seismic. The famous vocal eruption doesn't sound forced. It sounds released, like emotion finally breaking through after being held inside too long. That's why audiences connected so deeply. The song isn't simply about sadness. It's about acceptance. The painful understanding that love sometimes survives even when relationships cannot. Whitney delivers every line with dignity rather than bitterness.
So goodbye, please.
And that emotional maturity elevated the performance beyond ordinary pop balladry. Technically, the vocal is astonishing. Breath control. Dynamic precision. Crystal clear tone even at overwhelming volume. She could move from fragility to power without losing clarity for a single second. But technical brilliance alone never creates timelessness. Emotion does. Whitney made listeners feel the loneliness inside the song. Not theatrical loneliness. Real loneliness. The kind people carry privately. And globally, the impact became unavoidable. The record dominated radio, television, weddings, talent competitions, and international charts because it reached people across language and culture barriers. You didn't need to understand every lyric to feel the ache inside her delivery. Then came the larger shift. After this performance, vocal expectations changed permanently. Record labels searched desperately for singers capable of matching that emotional intensity. Talent shows, award ceremonies, and modern vocal competitions still measure performers against the standard Whitney established here. Because I Will Always Love You became more than a hit. It became a benchmark. A reminder that one voice, fully committed to emotion, can stop the world for 4 minutes. Number 9. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. A whisper before the earthquake. A performance so controlled it almost feels supernatural. And a voice capable of turning heartbreak into something enormous enough to fill the entire world. Whitney Houston's version of I Will Always Love You begins with almost nothing. No dramatic entrance. No wall of instruments. Just space. That silence matters because Whitney understood tension better than almost any vocalist of her generation. She knew restraint creates anticipation. The quieter she began. Number 8. Let's Stay Together by A.L. Green. Romance carried on a soft current of Memphis soul. A record that never raises its voice because it never needs to. And one of the smoothest performances ever captured on tape. Let's Stay Together feels intimate immediately. Not polished in a cold way. Warm. Human. Close enough to breathe beside you. The drums barely push. The guitar drifts gently through the mix. The horns arrive carefully, almost politely. Every instrument understands the assignment. Create space for emotion instead of overpowering it. Then Al Green enters. And suddenly the entire record feels weightless. His voice doesn't dominate the arrangement. It glides through it. Sometimes fragile, sometimes playful, sometimes aching quietly beneath the surface. That emotional flexibility became his signature. Most singers approach love songs by projecting strength. Al Green approached them through vulnerability. He sounded emotionally exposed in ways many male vocalists avoided during that era. And listeners trusted him because of it. Let's Stay Together doesn't rely on dramatic declarations. Succeeds through sincerity, through tiny vocal cracks, gentle phrasing, and subtle emotional shifts that make the performance feel lived in instead of performed. The production from Willie Mitchell and High Records also helped define the Southern soul sound permanently. Smooth but never sleepy. Elegant but never sterile. You can hear its influence decades later in quiet storm radio, neo-soul, contemporary slow jams, and modern alternative R&B. But beyond influence, the song survives because of atmosphere. It creates emotional temperature. Late-night conversations. Slow dancing in dim rooms. Long drives after midnight. The record feels designed for closeness. And that closeness remains timeless because intimacy never goes out of style. That's why Let's Stay Together still works today. Number 7. No Scrubs by TLC. Confidence over a futuristic beat. An anthem disguised as a radio hit. And a cultural reset that changed the language of modern relationships almost overnight. By 1999, R&B and hip-hop were blending faster than ever. Production was becoming sleeker. Music videos were becoming larger. Attitude mattered as much as melody. Then TLC released No Scrubs and completely captured the moment. The beat feels aerodynamic, clean drums, soft synthesizers, crisp vocal layering. Everything moves with precision. Nothing wastes energy. And over that polished production comes the message. Standards. Direct. Clear. Unapologetic. The brilliance of No Scrubs is how effortlessly it balances humor, empowerment, and catchiness at the same time. The lyrics are sharp without sounding bitter, playful without losing authority. Listeners immediately recognize themselves inside the song. And culturally, the phrase scrub exploded into everyday conversation almost instantly. That's when you know a record has escaped music and entered language itself. But the deeper significance goes beyond slang. TLC represented a shift in R&B storytelling. Women in mainstream music were becoming more assertive, more independent, more openly critical of unhealthy dynamics. No Scrubs didn't ask for validation. It established boundaries, and younger audiences especially connected to that confidence. Musically, the song also helped define the sleek, futuristic sound dominating late 90s R&B. Its influence stretched across pop radio, hip-hop collaborations, and the next generation of female artists who embraced stronger lyrical identities. But what truly keeps the record alive is its energy. Still feels cool. Not retro cool. Actually cool. The hook still lands instantly. The harmonies still slide perfectly across the beat. And the message still feels recognizable because self-respect never expires. That's why No Scrubs survived beyond trends. Number 6. Sexual Healing by Marvin. Loneliness hidden inside a groove. Desire translated through drum machines and synthesizers. And one of the records that quietly reshaped modern adult R&B forever. By the early 1980s, Marvin Gaye sounded tired of chaos. Years of personal struggles, industry pressure, addiction, and emotional exhaustion had left marks on both the man and the music. Then came Sexual Healing, a song that felt simultaneously intimate,
was the last time I saw him.
Vulnerable, and strangely futuristic. The rhythm arrives first. Minimal, electronic, patient. Unlike the lush orchestration of earlier soul records, this production leaves enormous space between sounds. The drum machine pulses steadily while soft synthesizers float around Marvin's voice like smoke.
He was on tour. He was very sick at the time.
That restraint became revolutionary. The song helped move R&B further into the electronic age without losing emotional warmth. Many artists later copied the atmosphere.
That's where he started getting into trouble.
Sensual but emotionally distant, polished but lonely underneath. And Marvin's vocal performance carries that contradiction beautifully. He sounds seductive, yes.
The problems were...
But he also sounds exhausted, searching for comfort, searching for connection. That emotional complexity is what separates Sexual Healing from ordinary slow jams. It isn't just about pleasure. It's about healing through intimacy, about loneliness temporarily disappearing inside human closeness. Listeners felt that honesty immediately. The song crossed generations because it approached adult themes with sophistication rather than shock value. Smooth enough for radio, deep enough for private listening.
And unfortunately, didn't work for him.
And sonically, its influence spread everywhere. Quiet storm radio, late night R&B, neo-soul, contemporary bedroom ballads. The blueprint is still everywhere. But beyond influence, the record remains powerful because Marvin sounds human. Fragile even. One of the greatest singers alive admitting he still needed comfort like everyone else. That vulnerability gives the song its soul. And that soul still lingers inside every slow jam that came after it. Number 5. Respect by Aretha Franklin. A demand carried through thunder, a voice stepping forward without hesitation, and a soul record that became larger than music itself. Respect doesn't slowly build toward authority. Begins with it. The drums hit hard. The horns answer sharply. The groove moves with purpose before Aretha Franklin even opens her mouth.
I'm about to give you all my little
Then the voice arrives, commanding, controlled, undeniable. Not asking, expecting. That distinction changed everything. Originally written and recorded by Otis Redding,
I ain't gonna do wrong while you gone.
the song carried a different perspective entirely. But when Aretha touched it, she transformed the meaning. She shifted the center of gravity from male frustration to female power,
You're moving now. Yeah, baby.
dignity, and self-worth. And suddenly the record belonged to history. Every detail matters. The spelling of RnBClassics, the background harmonies, the stop-start rhythm of the band, the gospel intensity underneath the soul arrangement. Nothing feels accidental. Aretha understood tension. She knew how to ride a groove without overpowering it, then suddenly push a line so hard it felt like the walls themselves moved backward. That church-rooted power became her signature. But what elevated respect into cultural immortality was timing. America in the late 1960s was alive with protest, transformation, anger, and possibility. Civil rights movements were demanding equality. Women were demanding visibility and independence. Younger generations were challenging old systems openly. And here came Aretha Franklin delivering a song that sounded like all of that energy compressed into under 3 minutes. The record crossed generations because people heard themselves inside it. Women heard autonomy. Black audiences heard pride and dignity. Working-class listeners heard exhaustion turning into defiance. That universality made the song unstoppable. Number 4. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. A bass line creeping through darkness. A drumbeat sharp enough to cut glass. And a performance that turned pop music into global theater. Billie Jean begins with tension. The groove doesn't rush. It stalks forward carefully, almost suspiciously. Every instrument feels isolated with surgical precision. The drums snap tight. The bass line circles endlessly. Tiny details flicker in and out of the mix like shadows moving across a hallway. Then Michael Jackson enters softly, almost conversational. That restraint matters because Michael understood drama better than almost anyone in modern music history. He knew suspense creates obsession. Instead of overwhelming listeners immediately, he pulls them inward step by step. And once the song fully locks into place, escape becomes impossible. The genius of Billie Jean is its balance between minimalism and intensity. The arrangement leaves enormous open space. Yet the tension never relaxes for a second. Every sound feels intentional. Every pause feels dangerous. That production style influenced decades of music afterward. Pop became tighter. R&B became more cinematic. Dance music became more rhythm-driven. And visually, the song changed the industry forever. When the music video exploded across television screens, Michael Jackson transformed the relationship between sound and image. Suddenly, artists weren't simply releasing songs anymore. They were creating events. And culturally, the impact was enormous. MTV, which had previously offered limited exposure to black artists, could no longer ignore Michael's popularity. Billie Jean helped crack open doors that should never have been closed in the first place. That breakthrough changed music television permanently. But beyond all the history, the record still survives because of feel. The groove still sounds dangerous. The performance still feels magnetic. The tension still works. And Michael's vocal delivery remains one of the greatest lessons in controlled intensity ever recorded. He whispers, pleads, snaps, and glides through the song with unbelievable precision. Nothing feels wasted. That's why Billie Jean remains immortal. Not simply because it was successful, because it changed the scale of what popular music could become. Number 3. End of the Road by Boyz II Men. Heartbreak stretched across harmony. A slow dance with grief. And one of the records that brought classic vocal group emotion back into the center of modern R&B. End of the Road opens gently, almost cautiously.
You'll be mine forever, baby. You just wait.
Soft piano, spacious production, voices entering carefully like people trying not to say something painful out loud. Then the harmonies begin stacking. And suddenly the emotion becomes enormous. Boyz II Men understood one of soul music's oldest truths. Heartbreak sounds heavier when multiple voices carry it together. Their harmonies don't merely decorate the song, they deepen it. Each voice adds another layer of sadness, longing, and disbelief. The record feels cinematic without becoming melodramatic. That balance made it powerful. By the early 1990s, hip-hop and New Jack Swing were dominating mainstream black music culture. Faster rhythms, harder drums, more aggressive energy. Then Boyz II Men slowed everything down. And audiences responded immediately. The group revived the emotional richness of classic vocal ensembles, while modernizing the sound for a new era. Clean production, contemporary phrasing, and polished arrangements allowed younger listeners to reconnect with harmony-driven soul music again. And commercially, the success became massive. The song dominated charts for months because listeners recognized something timeless inside it. Vulnerability. Not performative vulnerability. Real vulnerability. The lyrics capture the confusion of losing someone while still emotionally attached to them. The denial, the bargaining, the inability to fully let go. And vocally, the group delivers every stage of heartbreak with remarkable control. No screaming, no oversinging, just emotion carried through precision. That discipline became one of Boyz II Men's greatest strengths. But the deeper reason End of the Road still survives is simpler than charts or awards. Everyone understands goodbye eventually. And this record sounds like the moment people realize love alone cannot always save a relationship. That truth never stops being painful, which is exactly why the song never stops resonating. Number 2. A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Pain wrapped in orchestration, hope carried through exhaustion, and one of the most emotionally important songs ever recorded. A Change Is Gonna Come does not sound rushed. It moves slowly, almost heavily, as if carrying the weight of history itself. Strings rise carefully.
In a little tent. Oh.
The arrangement swells like distant weather. Then Sam Cooke's voice enters, elegant, weary, deeply human. The performance feels spiritual without becoming theatrical.
Time coming, but I know
that restraint is what gives the song its power. Inspired by Cooke's experiences with racism and injustice in America, the record became something larger than entertainment almost immediately.
Oh, yes it will.
It captured frustration, fear, resilience, and hope all at once. And remarkably, it did so without losing tenderness. Sam never sounds hateful.
Beyond the sky.
He sounds tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of barriers. Tired of carrying dignity through humiliation? That emotional honesty reaches listeners instantly. There've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long. The line lands because Cook delivers it softly instead of dramatically. He lets vulnerability carry the weight. And historically, the song arrived during one of the most turbulent periods in American life. Civil rights protests were reshaping the country. Violence and resistance existed side by side with growing demands for equality.
Then I go to my...
Many songs address struggle during that era. Very few sounded this personal. That intimacy transformed, "A Change Is Gonna Come," into something timeless.
But he winds up.
The song doesn't feel like a speech. It feels like a private prayer somehow overheard by the world. And musically, the orchestration elevated soul music into cinematic territory.
And I say, brother, help me.
Gospel emotion blended with classical arrangements in ways that expanded what R&B could sound like artistically. But beyond influence, the song survives because the core message remains unfinished.
There've been times that I thought
People still long for fairness, still fight for dignity, still hope tomorrow improves somehow. Number 1. I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. Joy moving at full speed. Youth exploding through Motown perfection. And the sound of a musical dynasty beginning in real time. I Want You Back feels alive from the very first second. The bass line bounces forward energetically. The drums move with restless excitement. Strings, piano, percussion, and vocals all collide together in a burst of controlled chaos that somehow never loses precision. Then Michael Jackson enters. Young, bright, urgent. And suddenly music history changes. What made the Jackson 5 revolutionary wasn't simply talent. It was energy. The group sounded youthful without sounding inexperienced. Their records carried technical excellence while still feeling spontaneous and fun. That combination became unstoppable. Motown had already mastered hitmaking by this point. But I Want You Back pushed the formula into overdrive. The production stacked melody on top of melody, hook on top of hook, until the song felt almost impossible to resist. Everything moves. Nothing sits still for long. And Michael's voice, unbelievably expressive for someone so young, became the emotional engine driving the entire record. He sounded desperate, playful, heartbroken, and charismatic simultaneously. Listeners immediately connected. The song crossed age groups, racial boundaries, and international markets because its excitement felt universal. You didn't need to understand music theory to feel the momentum inside it. And culturally, the impact became enormous. The Jackson 5 helped redefine what a black family act could achieve globally. Youth-oriented soul music suddenly became central to mainstream pop culture instead of existing at the edges of it. That shift changed the future of entertainment. Boy bands, teen pop stars, family music groups, crossover marketing strategies,